By day, I was a diligent university student. By night, I was his bedwarmer. No matter where he was or what I was doing when he called, I had to drop everything and go to him. On my 22nd birthday, I flew halfway across the world with a fever burning through me just to see him. The moment I stepped through the door, I saw flowers and a diamond ring waiting on the table. Like a wild beast, he pinned me against the door and kissed me hungrily. After the storm of passion, he calmly pulled away, rose from the bed, and began dressing. My legs were shaking, but I forced myself to get up and help him with his tie. As he smoked, his eyes were cold, devoid of any warmth. "I'm proposing to someone," he said. "Go decorate the place." My hands trembled as I tied his tie. "I thought you didn't believe in marriage?" "I won't marry, because she won't agree to it. As for you, Anya, you're just a way to kill time." It was as though the ground gave way beneath me, plunging me into a pit of ice. I had thought he remembered my birthday. I thought the flowers and the ring were meant for me. Okay. I lowered my head, desperate to hide the humiliation clawing its way up my throat, but my body wouldn't stop trembling. Liam didn't notice. Or maybe he simply didn't care. He tossed a handful of birth control pills my way. "Don't forget to take them." I know. I didn't need his reminder. I knew all too well I wasn't worthy of carrying his child. The last time I had accidentally gotten pregnant, all he had done was throw money at me and send me to a clinic. Whenever Liam looked at me, his gaze was empty. Only in bed did he seem alive, though even then, he was the cold, distant superior. "You're a smart girl. Don't cause me trouble. I'm marrying Salome Amadeo." "I understand." My fingernails dug into my palms as I laughed bitterly at myself for ever thinking I might be special. There had never been another woman in his life, yet I convinced myself I meant something to him. He went out to the balcony to take a phone call. Even through the glass, I could see the soft, almost affectionate smile tugging at his lips. My body felt weak and sore, but I forced myself to clean up the mess left by our encounter. As I gathered the trash, tears slipped down my cheeks. I had been discarded by Liam on my 22nd birthday. It had been 4 long years. So much time had passed that I had almost forgotten how it all began. I had been a university student he sponsored, never daring to dream of anything more. Then, one night, I found him drunk and unconscious at a bar. When I brought him home, he pinned me beneath him. His touch was gentle, almost magical, and I couldn't bring myself to say no. The truth was, I had already fallen for him. But when he woke, there was nothing in his eyes but icy indifference, as though the night before hadn't happened. "Anya, you've got guts. You even dare to scheme against me. How much do you want this time?" I wanted to explain, but the words wouldn't come. He was drunk, but I wasn't. I knew I should have stopped him, but I didn't. "I'm sorry," I whispered. Liam had never dated anyone before. He was like a distant star, untouchable. And I had tainted him. He threw money in my face and shoved a packet of birth control pills into my hand. Get lost. I had no dignity left. I took the money and walked away. But days later, he came looking for me again. And I couldn't resist him, not once. And so it went on for 4 years. He never cared about my life. To him, I was someone sinking willingly into the mire. I knew I wasn't worthy of saying anything more. Yet even after all that time, I was still the fool who flew across the world, sick and feverish, to help him prepare for his proposal to another woman. When I finished decorating, Liam didn't even glance at me. He simply waved me away, like I was an afterthought. In front of the mirror, he practiced his proposal, kneeling, then standing again, flustered in ways I had never seen. Every sweet word he rehearsed cut into my heart like a knife. How wonderful for him. He had found the love of his life. Meanwhile, I was on the receiving end of a scolding phone call from my advisor. "Do you want to delay graduation? Do you even know which big shot is coming to hear your thesis defense? You're not off dating again, are you? Everyone's saying you've latched onto some sugar daddy. What kind of man would need you to cling to him personally?" I didn't even know how I got through that call. The fever was burning me alive. I booked a hotel room for myself and asked the front desk to send up some medicine. When I opened the door to take it, she was standing there, Liam's fiancée. She was just like him, flawless, elegant, every strand of hair in place. Even in her simplicity, she radiated untouchable nobility. As Liam opened the door, she threw herself into his arms. He held her close, then shot me a cold, impatient glance. The message was clear. "Why haven't you left yet?" My fever-clouded mind barely registered the hot tears streaming down my face. I would leave. I would leave so far that no trace of me remained. I would follow my advisor's instructions and never again let myself get tangled in anything to do with Liam. The waiter who had brought me the medicine asked where it hurt and if I needed to go to the hospital. Liam didn't say a word, as though whether I lived or died meant nothing to him. Even his fiancée asked quietly, "What's wrong with that young lady? She looks really unwell." He pulled her inside and said flatly, "Don't worry about her." That indifference cut deeper than anything else. After taking the medicine, I curled up against the cold. I dreamt of Liam again. Even in my fevered state, he wouldn't let me go. I had been adopted by a couple who couldn't have children, but when they later had a son, they saw me only as a means to sell for a bride price. I couldn't accept that fate, so I ran away, seeking help from anyone who would listen. By some strange twist, I ended up receiving financial aid from Liam. He even added me on WhatsApp, though he never sent a single message until my adoptive parents created a scene in front of him, claiming I was a toy he had been keeping. They demanded compensation, rolling on the ground and causing a scene. Liam looked at them with pure disgust. I felt my face burn with shame, wanting to disappear. He paid them the so-called bride price and had them arrested for extortion. That was the first time we met face to face. My clothes were torn from my parents' violence. Liam stood there, untouched by the chaos. He took off his suit jacket and draped it over me. "It's handled. Go back and focus on your studies." Tears welled up in my eyes. I liked him, but I was too afraid to admit it. That was why I couldn't refuse him when he was drunk. My dreams swirled with the haze of those 4 years. His touch, his voice, his lies. He seemed to enjoy my body, to want me in a way that felt like he couldn't live without me. He promised me forever. He said he wanted me by his side for life. And I believed him. But now, looking back, how could I have believed anything a man said in bed? The truth was, Liam was getting married. He didn't need me anymore. I opened my eyes. The fever had passed, and my mind was clear. This fleeting entanglement, this dream, was finally over. Right now, I was interning at Liam's company. I submitted my resignation to HR, and they informed me I needed to complete a 3-day handover process. No one at the company knew about my past with him. He seemed especially wary of people like me, those he thought might try to cling to him. Suddenly, my phone buzzed with a WhatsApp message from him. "Come over." Had he found out about my resignation? Nervously, I went to his office and knocked. But when the door opened, it was his fiancée who stood there, wearing one of Liam's dress shirts. "Hi, I'm Salome Amadeo. You left something in our room." In her hand was my employee ID badge. Liam glanced at me, his eyes cold and sharp. It was the same look he had given my shameless parents. He thought I had deliberately left my ID in his room. In the corner, unnoticed by most, Salome's eyes gleamed with triumph. She stepped forward, her white wedding dress glowing against the dimmed lights. With a quiet thrill, she opened the velvet box, stained with my blood. "Liam, let's not waste Anya's kindness. Will you help me put on this engagement ring?" For a moment, time froze. Liam snapped back to reality, lifting his gaze to the woman before him, the one he had spent half his life pursuing. Without a word, he shoved her aside and stormed out. "Liam, where are you going?" Salome's voice cracked, frantic. "Cancel the wedding," he said, voice cold as ice. "I'm going to find her." And with that, he ran, his heart set on a course no one could predict. "Liam, how dare you leave? I'll marry someone else right now," Salome shrieked, chasing after him, but she stumbled after only a few steps, crashing to the ground. The bodyguard stepped in, calm and composed, years of experience giving him the poise to handle the situation. "Mr. Grasso, don't act on impulse. I've already sent men after Anya. Why don't you continue with the wedding? Miss Salome Amadeo is the daughter of the Amadeo family. Leaving her now will be difficult to explain. Besides, she's impulsive. If she really marries someone else, you may regret it. She's nothing but a plaything to you, but there's no reason to offend Miss Salome over her," the bodyguard added, his voice steady, though the tension lingered. I knew he was right. My life, so insignificant in Liam's eyes, meant nothing. Without warning, Liam punched the bodyguard. "I said, take me to find her." The bodyguard froze. He had known Liam for years, but had never seen him lose control like this. "All right," he said finally. "We'll go. Don't worry too much. We noticed someone trailing us on the road and have already contacted local police and the embassy." Assistant Amaya threw the bloody ring to me. I ran with it while my men covered me. The police arrived shortly after and began the search. Anya is smart and beautiful. The robbers were after money or lust, but they didn't need to take her life. His words were meant to calm Liam, but they only made him drive faster. By the time they reached the scene, all that remained were my blood-stained clothes. Through the car's dashcam, he saw everything. He watched as the robbers forced our car to a halt. He saw me hide the diamond ring in my underwear. The robbers, relentless and cruel, insisted on searching me. I pleaded, but my grip on the ring never wavered. Impatient, they cut off 2 of my fingers. I fought like a wild animal, shoving the diamond ring into the bodyguard's hands. "Take it," I shouted, urging them to leave quickly. Liam is a perfectionist. How could his engagement go on without the ring?
Send it to him.
I wish him a happy marriage on my behalf. I'll tell him goodbye. I've repaid my kindness. We don't need to meet again. Liam's eyes reddened. He covered them with his hand, silent for a long while. Chaos erupted when the police arrived. Since the incident had been reported earlier, they wasted no time. Liam set the tablet down, his voice rough and strained. "When you find her, what will her condition be?" No one dared answer. A woman taken by robbers was like a lamb before hungry wolves. Liam trembled, lighting a cigarette, inhaling as though trying to swallow his anguish with each puff. "Go to the embassy. I've made up my mind. I'm going to marry her." He rushed to the embassy, but they refused to release any information. After all, Liam wasn't her family. Why should they disclose her location? He paused, thinking, then finally argued. "I'm her boss. She was sent abroad by our company. We have the right to know her whereabouts." "Is that so?" The embassy officer responded coldly. "Her resignation process is complete." Liam was struck like lightning. His voice trembled as he muttered, "How is this possible? Why didn't she tell me? Why didn't anyone inform me? I had been nothing more than an intern." Following proper protocol, I had quietly left without a word. To him, I had always been disposable. At long last, he seemed to understand the weight of my words. The debt is paid. We'll never meet again. Liam sat outside the embassy like a broken shell of a man, frozen from dawn to dusk. Eventually, the staff came to him. "Miss Anya is severely injured and has been sent back to the country. She's receiving treatment at a military hospital. We cannot provide further details." Without hesitation, Liam rushed home, traveling through the night. But in the city where I had spent 4 years, he couldn't find a single trace of me. No hair, no photograph, no lingering sign of my presence. He had never allowed me to stay overnight, never left any reminders behind. Even at my school, I kept a low profile. Rumors about dating wealthy men had isolated me. And then I vanished completely. No one looked for me. No one cared. Yet somehow Liam found my mentor. The mentor regarded him with disdain. "Anya really has terrible taste," he muttered under his breath. Despite the cold reception, Liam persisted. He hounded my mentor relentlessly until, exhausted, he finally yielded. My mentor finally gave in, his voice heavy with finality.
"Anya is dead."
"She didn't want you to feel guilty, so she asked me not to tell you." Liam's world crumbled instantly. His body trembled as he shook his head in disbelief, voice barely a whisper. "Impossible. She must be angry with me. She's punishing me, right?" Exhausted by his persistence, my mentor led Liam to my grave. In the quiet of the cemetery, Liam knelt before the stone that marked my final resting place, tears falling as if he had lost everything, his parents, his future, his entire world. It was a sorrow unlike any other. All of this reached me through my mentor, who watched him with a detached air. With a serious face, he remarked, "Anya, you still had a knack for attracting rich men." A man, 1.8 meters tall, crying every day, his heart breaking over you. "But you know," he continued, tone shifting slightly, "I don't care about him. Even if you had been with him, he shouldn't have interfered with your studies." There was still a trace of resentment in his words. "In the future, when you're in a classified unit, I won't be able to protect you. You'll be on your own then." Research.
Study.
Development. Each task was a monotonous rhythm, filling my days. During my 4 years at university, I had been either wrapped in Liam's arms or buried deep in the lab, lost in experiments. I had no distractions. The only mercy I'd received was a sharp mind to keep me afloat. When Liam disappeared from my life, I felt relief. No unexpected calls. No skipping class to meet him. Leaving him wasn't as painful as I imagined. I had put him on a pedestal, but when he fell, nothing changed. They say wise people never fall in love, and lonely kings spend their time chasing PhDs. And so I did year after year. The next 5 years passed, my heart as calm as still water, life unfolding quietly around me. I never expected to cross paths with Liam again. Yet fate had other plans. We met at a conference on military to civilian transition. I stood there, cold and efficient, reading from scripts, tossing out numbers and parameters like a seasoned expert in front of political and business elites. The eyes in the room were a mix of emotions, regretful, astonished, admiring. Some furiously scribbled notes. But one gaze burned through the crowd, too intense to ignore. I lifted my eyes. There he was, Liam. I didn't linger. I quickly turned away, pretending he was just another face in the crowd. Once my presentation finished, I asked if there were questions. Liam stood, mouth opening and closing like he was searching for words. Finally he asked, "Are you married?" I furrowed my brows, annoyance creeping in. "What's it to you?" The room froze. I gestured at security. "There's a troublemaker here. Please escort him out." Liam squatted outside the conference room, waiting as if time meant nothing. "Anya, come here." His voice sliced through the air, sharp as a whip, a pang shooting through my chest. It was the same tone he had used to command me in the past, high and mighty, only when he wanted something. I ignored him. He grabbed my arm, trying to drag me away. I quickly turned to my colleagues, pleading for help. "I don't know him." The men immediately formed a protective barrier. Liam's temper flared. 5 years, and now you have an army of knights in shining armor? We slept together for 4 years, and you don't even recognize me? Heat rushed to my head. Why bring up the past now? "You've got the wrong person," I said coldly, trying to walk away. His tone softened, a last-ditch attempt to break through my resolve. "Please, let's talk." "Okay." At that moment, I was calmer than ever. With quiet precision, I slipped a small knife from my bag. Since that terrible day, I had never felt safe. Each day, I had practiced self-defense, sharpening my skills for a moment like this. I could justify it as protection, even if it meant going too far. I was determined. The blade flashed in the air. Then a hand grabbed it. A stranger. He glanced at Salome, who froze, her anger dissipating instantly. Without a word, he slapped her across the face, radiating authority. "Get lost." Salome recoiled, clutching her cheek, stepping back as the fight drained from her. He turned to the crowd, calm but firm. "Apologies. My friend isn't well. What just happened was a misunderstanding. If footage surfaces, I'll take legal action on Miss Amadeo's behalf." He pulled me away, grip steady, but unexpectedly rough. I felt the sting of his hand, blood seeping from where I'd scratched him. "Are you from the Amadeo family?" he asked. His presence had been to protect me, yet somehow he had asserted control over Salome as well. "My surname is Verlice, first name Leo. We were once betrothed."
What?
I was stunned. I took him to the hospital for stitches. He winced as the pain hit, teeth clenched, gripping my hand as if he couldn't let go. I tried to pull away, but it was as if once his hand had found mine, it refused to release. He attempted to distract me with words, voice softer now. "When we were kids, I used to carry you around. You always played the bride in our games. When Uncle Benjamin found you, I immediately canceled a $10 billion contract and rushed back. I never thought our first meeting would turn out like this. I was too young to remember clearly. Sorry, I've forgotten. Please forget it too. I'm not planning to get married." Leo fell silent until the stitches were finished. Then he stood and gently patted my head. "Can I hug you? Even if we're not getting married, we can still be friends. It's a time of marriage freedom. We're not old-fashioned." I nodded. His eyes held so much tenderness. He pulled me into his arms. "You must have had a hard time all these years. I wish I had found you sooner." For the first time, I realized someone had truly been searching for me. Suddenly, a burning gaze fell on me. I looked up, Liam, dressed in a hospital gown, staring from the end of the hallway. Oh, so Salami's story about him drinking until his stomach bled was true. Leo finished treating his wound. I grabbed his arm. "Can you take me to the Amadeo family?" Ever since providing my DNA sample, I had buried myself in work, avoiding confronting my family. "Sure," Leo said. He understood. The Amadeo family residence was far more luxurious than I imagined. No wonder Salome, the adopted daughter, could be so arrogant. I've called Uncle Benjamin and the others. They're on their way back, Leo said, pouring me a cup of coffee. Leo and I weren't familiar, so we sat in silence. Then he suddenly clapped his hands. I'll go look for the photo albums. There are pictures of us inside. He went upstairs, moving through the house as if it were his own. I, on the other hand, felt like a guest. I lowered my head, sipping coffee to steady my nerves, when Salome appeared. Her face still swollen from Leo's slap, she sat across from me, victorious. You're here to apologize, right? She smirked. I was thinking of using tricks to get you fired, but since you're sensible, I'll reluctantly let you off. I smiled. She really did look like me. Perhaps that was why the Amadeo family had chosen to adopt her. I'm a government employee. No matter how long your arms stretch, you can't reach my livelihood. Besides, there are plenty of opportunities waiting abroad. Salome put on a sweet, innocent expression. I didn't expect Brother Leo to stand up for me. Since you're willing to apologize, I take it Brother Leo has already given you a lesson. I'm in a good mood today. I'll let you have Liam back. I'll choose Brother Leo instead. If it weren't for our little argument, would I ever marry someone as boring as Liam? Leo came downstairs holding the photo album, and Salome fluttered toward him like a butterfly. Brother Leo, I was going to tell Dad today, but I overheard your call. You said our family's alliance could continue, and even asked them to return immediately. Are you really that eager to be with me? I assumed she meant my betrothal. I shot Leo a glance. Weren't we supposed to be just friends? Leo avoided my gaze, impatience evident as he pushed Salome away. The betrothal was never with you. I made it clear when you confessed that I rejected you. Salome's voice trembled. But the person you've been waiting for might have been dead for years. I don't understand why you and my parents are still holding on to this. If you're not marrying me, why are you still discussing things with them? Just then, the Amadeo family's parents arrived. They rushed to me, showering me with warmth, urging me to call them Mom and Dad. Even Salome could see it. She pointed at my hand, shaking. You. I smiled, voice steady. I'm the lost daughter of the Amadeo family. Salome stared in disbelief as her parents treated me with reverence. Unable to accept it, she fled. I didn't care much for the title of eldest daughter. There was something more pressing, Salome. Would they send her to prison for orchestrating the robbery 5 years ago? After deliberation, my parents decided she would face justice. Back at the Amadeo family home, Leo always found excuses to visit, claiming he was reminiscing about the past. I couldn't understand it. In a world full of warmth and love, why was he so fixated on me? He didn't even know the horrors of my past, yet he stayed by my side. Leo took me out to watch the fireworks, each burst of light feeling like a confession of his heart. I was still trying to figure out how to turn him down when Liam suddenly appeared, a man driven mad. Anya, please don't agree with him. I beg you, don't. I was wrong. I'll change. I'll listen to you. Please, give me another chance. I watched as Liam cried, tears and snot staining his face. The Liam I once knew, the elegant, aloof, proud gentleman, was gone, replaced by a humiliated man before everyone. Leo caught my gaze, sensing I might waver, and ordered the bodyguards to remove him. Liam raged. Leo, are you going to pick up my worn-out shoes? She was with me when she was 18, always at my beck and call. She even had an abortion once. I've used countless birth control pills on her. Leo, what kind of woman haven't you met in high society? Why not just leave Anya to me? Leo's anger flared. He lunged at Liam. You're so proud of yourself, huh? You've got a serious problem. How dare you treat a girl like this? Is this how you were raised? The noise was unbearable. I turned and left. All I could feel was disgust for Liam. After such a mess, I thought Leo would see I wasn't the right match for him. But no, he stayed outside my building all night, sending message after message on WhatsApp. I won the fight. Is there a reward? I don't care about your past. I just want your future. His messages kept coming, a steady stream that kept me awake. Eventually, I couldn't resist. I went downstairs to meet him. I was going to reason with him, to make him see sense. But before I could say a word, he pulled me into his arms. Let me love you, okay? I could have refused.
But he wanted to love me.
And whether I agreed or not, he wouldn't stop.